Hey guys, welcome to the channel or welcome back. My name is Ania, and today, if you're watching this video, you're trying to figure out how to make this more effective, right? Well, keep watching. It may not seem like it, but I actually haven't been technically bullet journaling for that long. I mean, of course, 3 years is a long time, but lots of time to make mistakes and learn. I've learned a thing or two about how to make my bullet journal more effective and how to get me to actually continue to use it. Now, of course, when you go online, you see all of the great, fantastic things about bullet journaling, how aesthetic it is, how productive it makes you, but to be honest, everybody falls off their bullet journal game. Everybody kind of gets lost in what they want to do, and everybody needs to figure out ways that work for them specifically in order for their bullet journal to be effective for them. And that's something I kind of had to learn the hard way. You can't really look at what everybody else is doing and make the decision that what they're doing is going to work for you, because 9 times out of 10 it's not. You kind of have to find your own way. It's a really good and a bad thing. It's a blessing and a curse. So the first thing you have to think about, if you're not using your bullet journal as much as you want to, or you think, oh, I have this great theme and it looks great, but I'm still not opening it. Well, the first thing I would say is you have to adapt it to your needs. So when I say adapt it to your needs, I mean figure out what do you actually need. So for example, if you're like, okay, well, I know that I'm productive in these settings, right? So for example, if you're like me, I don't like to work in a messy space. I like to have my space clean. I like to have things around me clean, and that helps me be the most productive. However, you know, during the day, you're doing stuff, you're filming stuff, you're getting stuff everywhere. You're studying, and so you have books everywhere. You have pens everywhere if you're doodling or, you know, etc. So why not put like a cleaning tracker in your bullet journal to help you keep track of that? And that way you'll go back and look, because you know, well, this helps me be the most effective. So since I know that this helps me be more effective, I'm going to put it into my bullet journal so that I can refer to that, and then I know exactly what I need to do, and so on and so forth. It becomes a cycle, and then your bullet journal becomes a part of your daily life when you start to do things like that. So adapt it to your needs. That's the first step. Okay, the next one, and one that has actually helped me out a lot, is to schedule out a time that you're going to use your bullet journal. Now, you might think, okay, I'm gonna get up in the beginning of the day and I'm gonna fill up my bullet journal for the day, and then I'm going to stick to it. Or you might be someone who's kind of like, okay, I have too much going on during the day. I really need to update my bullet journal at night. So I need to go through everything I'm gonna go through, and then at nighttime I can update it, put in what I did do, what I didn't get done, you know, whatever the case may be. And you also might be thinking, okay, if you're gonna update your bullet journal at night, then maybe you're planning for the next day at nighttime, right? So it really just depends on you. Some people don't wake up till noon, so noon is the best time for them to, you know, check in with their bullet journal. Some of us do habit trackers, 2 lines a day or 1 line a day or a doodle a day or whatever it may be, whatever trackers we have in our bullet journal. And so they may require different time commitments to fill out your bullet journal so that everything is scheduled for the day. So for me, I was finding that if I didn't fill in my bullet journal right when I came home from work, I likely wasn't gonna touch it for the entire day. So it was easier for me to go through, update like most of my habit tracker, put in my sleep, put in all the little details, and then when it came to my to-do list, because I knew I was still going to be completing tasks for the day, that part I would leave more open-ended, so that at the end of the night, once I was finished, I could go through and check off all my tasks and make sure I got everything that I wanted to be done today done. And I can also put some tasks in for tomorrow of things that I know for sure that I have to get done. So you really just got to figure out what works for you, and maybe it's a mixture. Maybe you're doing different things throughout the day where you're updating, and that's totally fine too. Okay, so the next step is going to be to add in pages that make you excited to check in with your bullet journal. So I mentioned some of them, but we have a gratitude log, or we have your habit tracker, you have a doodle a day tracker, or a journaling page, or a milestones page, or a memories log, or whatever it may be. Make sure you have things in your bullet journal that make you excited to open your bullet journal in the first place. And this can also just be a nice creative theme. So if you're, you know, somebody who's really artsy and you like themes that are different and you don't want to follow a set theme, you can do that. But you just know like, oh, like even though these pages are blue and these pages are yellow, it makes me really excited to see the change in pages or whatever it may be. Just make sure you have something in there that keeps you wanting to come back, because I guarantee you not only will this make you more effective, but you'll use your bullet journal a lot more, which will keep you on track. Okay, so the next thing is to understand that it is okay to skip days in your bullet journal. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't say anything bad about your character because you skipped a day or two or even a week in your bullet journal. There's gonna be moments where it's going to happen because you just have other priorities that you need to take care of, or maybe you go on a vacation and you don't take it with you, or you are over at a friend's house and you don't have it so it doesn't get filled that day. It is totally okay to skip a day. If you're the type of person who thinks like, okay, well I've skipped this day, so I'm just gonna skip it, that's totally fine. Or if you're maybe thinking like, oh, I skipped this day, but I remember a lot of what happened, so I'm gonna fill it out for that day just to keep myself on track. Now, I personally lean towards the latter because at the end of the month, I really like to see an overview of my month, and I'm typically pretty good about remembering what happened on the days that I didn't check in so that I can go back and input that information later. I also use things like my phone, my Samsung watch, and my iPad as tools to keep track of information too when I don't have my bullet journal on hand. So again, it's completely preference based, so it's based on however you want to do it. But you have to make sure that you understand it is totally okay to skip days, and it's gonna happen. So don't beat yourself up over it when it does. Okay, and my last and final, and this is a bonus tip by the way, is that if you're feeling overwhelmed, try lowering your workload for a couple days. For some of us, we love to-do lists. We love the satisfying feeling of checking off something at the end of the day when we've completed something. But the truth is, sometimes when those tasks start to pile up and we write everything down thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be so productive today, I'm gonna get everything done, we end up just being overwhelmed. And then what happens when we're overwhelmed? We just don't get anything done. So a good way to combat this when you start to feel overwhelmed is to just lower your workload. Even if you're like, oh, it's only 5 tasks, but I feel like these tasks are really hard and that's why I'm avoiding them. You just gotta think about it and break it down into an easier, digestible format that you can understand. So for example, you can start with picking out the 3 main things you need to get done each day and starting with only those tasks. That way, at the end of those 3 tasks, you feel like, okay, I got something done today. Not only will this make you more effective because you'll get the 3 most important things done, it will likely motivate you to get other things done, which is what you want in the first place. You want to be productive, you want to be motivated, and you want to keep that flow going for longer. That is a really good way to do it. Just when you start to feel overwhelmed, just think about, okay, I have 10 things to do on this list. What are the top 3 things that I know for sure that I want to get done today? And then once you get those 3 things done, you're like, hey, I got those 3 things done, cool. Well, now I also need to go do this. And since it'll only take me a minute, I'm just gonna go ahead. You start to get your confidence and your self-esteem back, and then you're able to be more productive. And if you don't feel that way, just take some time off. Genuinely, just take a break, relax, let your mind breathe for a little bit, and then try to jump in once you feel a little bit better. The one thing that we can't do is force ourselves to be productive, because I guarantee you, you just won't get anything done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you found anything helpful from this video, please let me know. And also let me know how you make your bullet journal more effective every day. All right, I hope to see you guys in the next video.